I'm sorry for snagging a husband who is a doctor making $300,000 a year, okay? Old hag. When I unexpectedly got a day off and returned home, I found my husband in bed with a young woman. In this situation, the ones who should be blamed are the two in bed. However, instead of apologizing, they kicked me out of the house. Under the starry sky, I felt something snap inside me. Choose the path that's best for Emily. I opened up my eyes to the sound of my neighbor friend Anna's voice. As a mother, what should I choose? When the time for a decision comes, they will face the consequences. My name is Susan, and I am 45 years old. After graduating from college, I became a doctor. At 33, I married David, 5 years younger than me, introduced by a friend, and 2 years later, our daughter Emily was born. Since Emily was born, we enjoyed housework and parenting together as a couple. I returned to work when she started kindergarten, but around that time, my husband changed. As a pediatrician, it's not uncommon for me to be out at night for work. We had agreed that whoever could manage would handle the housework, but he spent his days off sleeping. And even when I came home early in the morning, nothing was ever done. I tried talking to him several times. I'm busy too, he would say, and every conversation ended in a stalemate. With work, housework, and childcare, I was doing almost everything alone, and it was physically exhausting. I thought about divorce many times. However, each time I reconsidered, thinking it was better for Emily to have a father around. She is now 10, and I have a bit more time, so I try to attend school events as much as possible. Seeing my daughter grow makes me happy, but there's also a downside. It's dealing with a difficult mom friend, Linda. All the other moms are friendly and cheerful, but Linda and I just don't get along. She's the youngest and prettiest among the moms in our class. For some reason, she's particularly harsh towards me. We first met a year ago at a school event. Hello. Oh, hi there. Which child's grandmother are you? Excuse me? Oh, are you the mother? My bad. You look quite old, so I thought you came to see your grandchild. You're such a young mom. I'm jealous. Right? You should work on your anti-aging too. That was our first conversation. According to other mom friends, she had her child at 18 and is a single mother. She works at a nightclub to make ends meet. She might be doing her best as a mother, but I can't help but doubt if someone like her can really raise a child. Even now, she always has something snide to say whenever we meet, but I'm too old to be hurt by a young mom's remarks. I'm used to such unreasonable comments from my job. As a pediatrician, it's not uncommon to be harshly criticized by mothers who are concerned about their children. I'm sure she has her own struggles, having become a mother at a young age. I kept telling myself that. However, when my daughter was cast as the lead in the school play last year, Linda said something outrageous. Is Emily really okay as the lead? She's been practicing every day at home and is really enjoying it. That doesn't matter. Your kid won't look good on stage. What? I hope she doesn't embarrass herself. She said this to me after the open rehearsal for the play. The roles and the play were decided by the teachers and children, so no one should have such thoughts. I knew she was just trying to harass me by badmouthing my daughter, but it still hurt. Linda, did you come to watch the rehearsal? I didn't see you there. No, I didn't. Unlike you, I have a job and am not free all the time. That must be tough. Are you on a break right now? I remember feeling so angry that I responded with a sarcastic remark. I regretted my words immediately, feeling like I had stooped to her level. The play ended up being a huge success, but her harassment escalated after this incident. At our monthly mom friends gatherings, we often vented our frustrations. During one such meeting, a mom known for her gossip shared a juicy tidbit. Did you hear the police visited Linda's house? She's suspected of neglect. Whenever I see her outside, she's always alone. She's working at nightclubs and dating married men during the day. By the way, I saw her walking with your husband. Really? I'm sorry if it was a mistake, but they were really close, so I thought I should tell you. She apologized as she spoke, but I had already somewhat suspected that my husband was having an affair. He often came home late and spent most of his time on his phone, with notifications constantly going off. Even if his affair was true, I had to prioritize our daughter. This thought paralyzed me from taking any action, but a month after hearing the gossip, everything came to a head. It happened on a day I was unexpectedly off from work due to a shift change with a colleague. It was my daughter's day for lessons, so I picked her up and we spent the day together, returning home just before dusk. When I opened the door, I saw unfamiliar high heels discarded in the entryway. Sensing that there was something I shouldn't let my daughter see, I took her next door to Anna's house. Then, I entered my home and opened the bedroom door. What? Why are you here? Susan. How long are you going to stay like that? Get dressed already. I had told my husband about my day off 3 days ago, but he had clearly forgotten. They looked shocked and quickly gathered their clothes as I had ordered. A few minutes later, they came to the living room, fully dressed, and sat silently in front of me. First, David, what are you going to do now? I'm really sorry. I don't care about apologies. We have Emily to think about. What are you going to do? I'll do whatever you want. What are you going to do? What? At first, I couldn't comprehend her words when she suddenly joined the conversation. I had no reason to be blamed by my cheating husband and his mistress. While he looked visibly shaken, Linda remained unfazed, even smug. What are you going to do was naturally my line, but since she asked, I had no choice but to say I'd take legal action. I quickly decided to file for divorce and demand alimony and child support. However, even after hearing my response, she remained completely unfazed. So, are you giving your husband to me? Yes. Go ahead. What about raising your daughter? You can demand alimony and child support all you want, but we have no obligation to pay. Why not? He told me. You've been working part-time and haven't taken care of him for years, right? You need to take better care of your husband. What on earth is she talking about? I understood that she believed the wife was at fault for creating a situation where the husband cheated. But what kind of upbringing led to such thinking? Next to Linda, who was spouting nonsense, my husband looked convinced and glared at me sharply. She is right. Unlike you, she truly loves me. I want to love her too. Too bad for you, old hag. We're not the ones leaving here. Now, get out of the way. He brazenly confessed his love for his mistress in front of his wife. There was no point in arguing any further. I sighed in disbelief, and before I knew it, I was the one being kicked out of the house. Looking at the darkening sky, I hurried to the house next door where my daughter was waiting. Anna was concerned since I was late picking up Emily, so I explained what had happened at home. That's unbelievable. Yeah. I said I would get a divorce, but I'm worried about raising her alone while working as a doctor. What should I do? No one can raise a child alone. Parenting is a communal effort, with the lead parent guiding and all the surrounding adults pitching in. Make the choice that's best for Emily. Thanks to her words, I felt I knew what steps to take. The next day, I took my daughter and went back to my parents' house. When I explained the situation, they were both shocked and furious. They probably thought my husband was gentle and mild-mannered. After calming them down, they promised to support us as much as they could. Then I consulted a lawyer, but I was told I lacked sufficient evidence of the affair, so a few days later, I called Linda to a nearby park for a certain plan. What do you want? Sorry for the sudden call. There's something I really need to ask you. I'll listen to your whining. Will you stop seeing my husband and apologize to me, or continue your relationship with him? What are you talking about? Obviously, you're the one who should leave. Get a clue. Do you really love David? Of course not, that pathetic old man. I'm only interested in his money. Sorry for taking your husband who's a doctor making $300,000 a year. Old hag. That was her last chance, but she wasted it. For the sake of my daughter and myself, I submitted the collected evidence of the affair to my lawyer and began my counterattack against them. A month after the confrontation, while my husband was out of town for work, I moved our belongings into a new apartment and left my daughter with my parents, waiting for his return. He came home around 10 p.m. Naturally, Linda was with him. They were surprised to see me and I motioned for them to sit down, then slapped the divorce papers on the table. They both seemed incredibly happy, as if they misunderstood the situation. "Thank you." David, with a gleam in his eye, gave me a warm smile. Why did I marry such a worthless man? I can't help but wonder now. Thank you for deciding to divorce. I'm really sorry. I'll make sure to be happy for you. After seeing him happily sign the divorce papers, I declared. Thanks to you too. I appreciate you taking on an average office employee. Huh? What are you talking about? Have you forgotten that your husband is a doctor making $300,000 a year? I'm the one making $300,000 a year as a doctor. What? The atmosphere in the living room shifted dramatically. For the first time, she was visibly upset. A bead of sweat rolled down my ex-husband's forehead. It seemed she had genuinely believed David was the doctor. She slowly turned to look at David, who nervously lifted his gaze. As their eyes met, he suddenly dropped to his knees in a gesture of profound apology. I'm sorry. I lied to impress you. That's not just a little lie. I'm just a regular office employee, but I promise I'll make you happy. An old man with no money can't make me happy. What? Seriously, I can't believe this. I was only with you because you spent a lot of money on me. That was her money. Exactly. I noticed the money was coming from Emily's account. Linda's blunt truth shattered his heart, leaving him in a daze. David had become a regular at the nightclub where she worked, and he quickly took a liking to her. When she learned he was supposedly a doctor, she pretended to fall for him, thinking he'd be a convenient source of money. Once she realized he was just a broke old man, she let out a big sigh and stood up. As she tried to leave the room, I informed her that a claim for alimony would soon be coming her way. She spun around. Her face contorted with anger. I laid out the evidence of their affair, taken by my brother, and explained that I could justifiably claim alimony from Linda and both alimony and child support from David. Why should I pay alimony when it's partly your fault? I was just with someone I love. It's your fault for neglecting me. I'm only interested in money. Shut up, old man. Linda. Anyway, these photos don't prove anything. They both spewed useless excuses. According to Linda, the photos were taken while she was accompanying a client from the nightclub, part of her job. So she claimed she had no obligation to pay alimony. She argued that being at home together or going to a hotel was all part of her job. A husband blaming his wife for his affair and a mistress who discarded her lover once he was penniless. They were a perfect match in a twisted way. I finally presented the last piece of evidence to her, who kept making lame excuses. What's this? Remember when we talked in the park? It's a recording of that conversation. What? When I called her to the park to ask about her future with David, I secretly recorded our conversation. Depending on her answers, I was even willing to consider reducing the alimony, making that day her last chance. In the recording, she clearly stated that she was only after the money and had no real feelings for him. After hearing the recording, she collapsed on the spot. David, too, was left in a state of shock. I informed him that he would receive demands for alimony and child support and started to leave. Wait. I was wrong. From now on, I'll love only you, Susan. Let's start over. David. You still love me, right? What are you misunderstanding? I don't love you anymore. From now on, everything will go through my lawyer. So prepare for the alimony and child support. After submitting the divorce papers, I was officially divorced from David. As rumors suggested, Linda had been cheating on him with several wealthy men, and as the truth came out, she faced multiple claims for alimony. She hadn't been taking care of her son, who was taken in by her parents, and she wasn't allowed to see him. She was also on the verge of being fired from her nightclub job, according to the mom friend's gossip. As for my ex-husband, word of his affair and the deceit spread throughout his company, leaving him isolated. Thanks to his boss, he managed to avoid getting fired, but he's now treated so poorly that he might be better off quitting and finding a new job. As for me, after the divorce, I started a new life with my daughter in a new apartment. I couldn't explain everything to my 10-year-old daughter, but she readily agreed to live with just me. I asked if she still wanted to see her father after the divorce. "I don't care either way," she said with a wry smile. She mentioned that she hardly has any memories with him. Since the divorce, he has contacted me several times through my lawyer, but it's always about money, never about our daughter. He's an absolutely terrible husband and father to the end. Now, with my parents' support, we're all helping each other and getting by. Emily is all I need, but if the time ever comes to welcome a new father figure into our lives, I'll make sure to be more discerning to avoid repeating the same mistakes.